So welcome to the Laura and Benny show.
Thanks for having me again, Laura.
This is definitely not the same day of the third podcast in a row that we've done. We haven't changed our clothes 3 times.
I am definitely going to have to get a fashion designer, whatever you call them. Do you think it's a word?
A fashion designer. So you're going to get someone to design clothes especially for you. Do you mean that you just want someone to actually buy you clothes and put you in your wardrobe? Is that just not your wife? That's because that's like, tell the truth now to everyone while we're on this subject, that you don't buy your own clothes.
No, I get Christmas presents.
That's exactly what I'm saying. So like your
There's
wardrobe.
many a man who shop for you at Christmas.
Okay, so your wardrobe.
And all the gifts that they're given.
No.
And you've said a trend long enough over years, people just go,
Absolutely.
you just need to buy Benny jumpers.
Yeah, so your wardrobe is
Jumpers.
designed
Jumpers.
by your wife and two 60-odd-year-old women.
Yeah.
So you're real trendy.
On point.
You're okay. Well, we're going on holidays there at the end of the week. You could pick yourself up a couple of things.
Well, I'll pick out a new shirt.
No, not a new shirt.
Yeah,
Because
keep an eye out. You
the
always
only
have to
thing
be
you
ready, lads, for the new shirt.
I have nothing to say. But this week, we're talking everything. Benny's favourite subject.
Oh, yeah, cake.
Cake.
Cake. When I was putting on a new jumper, I was thinking, Ted, I don't like cake jumper.
Sorry?
Ted.
Ted. What's Ted?
Ted, I don't
Ted.
like cake jumper. Ted, I don't like cake jumper. Those sentences don't mean nothing to you.
As in Father Ted?
Father Ted.
Oh, the jumper that was
The jumper
in
was
the
in
cake.
the cake. They pulled it out. Dougal wasn't impressed.
I'm supposed to get that from you
But
just
I was
saying the word Ted.
Ted.
Thanks, Benny, for bringing me there. Yeah, that's great.
Ted.
Ted.
It's
Okay.
Not, it's not the other Ted that's alive. That's very bold now. Imagine him talking about cake.
Who's alive?
The Ted.
As in the teddy bear?
The teddy bear.
Oh, yeah.
The bold teddy bear.
Yeah. This is, that's gone way off point. But if you want me to do
you know
you
what
a
we
jumper cake
haven't
for your
seen?
birthday, we can.
A wedding cake in the shape of a teddy bear.
Oh, God. At
be
1-year-old's
very
birthdays, we would have.
You reckon?
Yeah.
We don't do 1-year-olds' birthdays. That was
No, we
some
don't.
smash out there.
It's just the dog eating
dog
the cat.
is
It's
just
fine.
off the charts
Yeah,
this
I
evening.
know. She's ridiculous. Ignore her.
Right.
I'm doing a podcast.
On
I'm
cake.
busy. She's fine. The cat's distracting her. But yeah, we talked to Tara from Broken Spoons,
Yeah.
who came in and talked, my goodness, the ins and outs of cakes.
Everything cakes.
Like not even just about like, how big the cake can be and the flavours that are in the cake and where the cake can go. This woman had the knowledge on like, the flowers that can go on a cake. She's all about the aesthetics of where the cakes you place in the room, which is my kindred spirit, Tara. That, if you're going to
Yeah, she's
put time
conscious
into it,
of her creations. That
Yeah.
it's not just creation, there you go. It's everything around it.
yeah, she's not just give me a table and I'll put a cake in it. She's designed the whole. Maybe Tara could be your fashion designer. She's got a great eye for a cake table, draping a cake table. She could drape you, like you could see you as a cake, and we could just dress you up, like you dress a cake. We could dress a Benny.
Dress a Benny.
Dress a Benny.
Benny cake.
But yeah, no, we chatted everything cakes, and it's kind of one of those things where I think still at about 95% of weddings you'll see a wedding cake or some version of a wedding cake.
It's more rare that you don't have a cake.
It is
But
rare.
what I was kind of thinking when you were kind of mentioning that we have to talk about cakes is I think cakes...
We have to talk
We
about
have to-
cake.
we
How
have to, we have
awful
to.
for you, Benny. Yeah.
I think cakes have to come more into the reception. Okay? To the point
Okay.
of... Right. So when adults go mental for the sweetheart. And
Yes.
as you say, you've seen adults kind of nudge kids out of the way to get the last kind of snake.
That's for the ice cream vans now more than anything else.
Ice
Yeah,
cream
yeah,
van.
that's the ice cream vans.
So whether it's ice cream vans, sweets,
Yeah.
or anything,
Okay.
people respond. They're like, yeah,
But it's sugar, isn't it?
sugar.
Sugar. And you're
Fun.
kind of like, you're on a
Part of the
day
party.
off of daily life. So you're like, I'm going to eat and drink whatever I want today. It does not count because it's a bit like Christmas. Does
Yes.
not count. Today is a
Celebration.
calorie-free zone. I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to work it off on the dance floor later.
Oh,
It's
right.
going to be totally fine kind of thing.
Okay.
So yeah, so when you're given sweet stuff, your body goes, sugar.
Sugar.
And I'm eating whatever I want today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can still have your wedding cake.
Yeah.
That's lovely designed.
Yes.
And everything like that. But I think there should be cakes, little bits of cakes in the drinks reception.
Okay.
It's like the Ferrero Rochers, but like even if it's
Yeah.
like little squares. Do you remember Brian at the trade shows, the baker
Yeah.
boy? He used to be like have little slivers of cake for tasters.
He did.
Yeah, even it was like that size, but like.
Well, they were kind of like
a
the taste
cake
boxes.
wall. We need
Yeah.
cake walls. Donut
Cake
walls.
walls.
Shot walls. We need cake walls.
I don't know if a cake wall would work. How would this work, Benny?
You put the cake on the wall, and your guests come along and take the cake off the wall and eat the cake.
I don't know how.
And lots of different flavors.
I was
you
gonna
know
say,
when you're kind of like, what flavors you want, and then it's like
Yeah.
you can only pick 2 or 3 for your actual main cake type thing.
Okay.
This could be like cake suppliers. This is like a dream for you. You're going to sell so much cake. You can do all the flavors of the cake on the cake wall, and then people will be like, oh, I like the peanut butter something. I like the mint whatever. I like the salted caramel. I like the red velvet. Think of all the cake you could have, people.
By the way, you're just like dropping
all the names.
Cake flavors, like cake. I was going to snap, but I can't.
Can't click your
my
fingers. Apparently, I don't believe Dara. I think he was false solidarity.
I think we should put a poll on this. How many people out there cannot make a sound when they click their fingers?
I think it's really strange if you can't click your fingers. I'm not going to click my fingers because it's loud when I click my fingers.
Okay.
But like the whole kind of like, I get the people can't whistle because you might have to just learn how to whistle if you're not kind of like a whistle person.
I can whistle.
Type thing. Please don't whistle.
Okay.
Or isn't it like roll your tongue a certain way, one way or the other way? Something. But like clicking your fingers, seriously, I couldn't believe when you were like, I can't click my fingers. Like that was pretty special now.
That's mean. I'd say there's lots of people out there that can't click their fingers.
That some people can't click their fingers.
But you know what though? I think it's actually meant to be, because you know the way like you hear of the photographers that would be trying to keep people's attention by like clicking their fingers.
Right.
Look at me, look at me, look at me. I physically can't click at you to say look at me because I can't click my fingers. So I'm going to just have a conversation.
If you could click your fingers, would you be a clicky finger photographer?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. For a minute there, I thought she had a cat in her mouth. It's fine. It's just an octopus, Teddy. But yeah, cake wall. I was actually, when you said, this is just right, when you said cake wall, my brain went to it, oh, that doesn't sound very hygienic. And then I was thinking,
the wall.
No, there is donut walls. So it's the same thing. You're hanging food off a wall, aren't you?
Build a wall, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
could you?
More of a display.
Do you ever see those? We haven't seen it at a wedding, but I've seen it online. It's like this. It's a wall. So it's like it's like a grass wall, and you ring the bell, and then out of the grass wall
comes a cake man.
You haven't seen this. Comes a hand with a glass of prosecco. So you literally go up and you ring a little bell, and a hand with a glass of prosecco comes through the wall and hands you a glass of prosecco or whatever drink is part of the wall. So you could have a serving cake wall. So instead of them all just sitting there and they could
fella. Like,
but you don't want to cut up the cake because it might go a bit stale, Benny. Do you know, if you were to cut the cake up into little slices, you couldn't leave it there for that long because the air would get at it. But you could have a guy behind a wall and he could be cutting the cake as you ring the bell, and you could put the cake through the wall, and it's a nice freshly cut piece of cake.
I feel sorry for some of the waiters who are like on the wrong stand. You know, you have the tea and coffees.
Right.
You have the gin. You have the Baileys and whatever.
Yeah.
And there's always one girl, say, that's standing on her stand, and she's just standing and she's manning the stand, but nobody wants that drink. So like she's kind of there. So I feel sorry for her. So I feel sorry for the person who has to stand behind the wall with a glass of Prosecco.
Have you not
put
seen
their hand
this?
Through the wall.
You really aren't on the internet if you haven't seen this.
No, I really haven't seen this or heard of this.
I was waiting to see it at a wedding.
Like, we can see it at a wedding.
Like this is where it happens at weddings. I haven't seen someone do it at a wedding we've been at.
Do you know?
Like it's a company you hire that does it for you. Like I'm not making this up.
That's what they do.
It's like bubble van, like you know the Prosecco vans and stuff. The same idea, except it's like a bit of a quirky ring a bell, hand me some Prosecco. So you could ring a bell. It could be the cake bell, and then you get a bonus cake jumper if you ring at a certain number of rings or something. I don't know. It could be a bonus prize or something. I don't know, Benny. There could be lots of things. Tara would be delighted with herself. She'd be behind that wall. God knows.
Serving cake.
Serving cake. Couldn't let you behind the wall because you'd be eating the cake more than you'd be serving the cake.
Yeah, but I think there needs to be cake and the drinks receptions a lot more.
Okay.
I think people would want it.
Yeah, they would, but it's kind of like you don't want to fill people up too much though. Because it's hard to eat the dinner.
Hours before they're going to eat their dinner. I'm sure the speeches. They'd be talking.
They barely eat the dessert at the wedding menu or the wedding meal anyway.
They're full of drink. And from the time I'm taught, so they should be eating the cake. Right?
Yeah.
Say they arrive to the hotel at about 2:30, 3 o'clock, have a bit of cake, as opposed to at 7:30.
Yeah.
Trying to give them a bit of cake.
Well, the whole thing of, remember we were cutting
bit
the
of cake
a
with a
couple
cup
of
of tea.
times
Can't go wrong.
after the ceremony. This
That's
happened twice in 1 year.
You don't have to cut your cake.
Right.
You just have to buy more cake.
So you're just adding expense to wedding couples who are already finding the wedding more as expensive.
It's like it's worth a big
to you, because you love cake, not to everybody. It wouldn't be their priority to like hire a wedding cake, hire someone to make you a wedding cake, and then also hire someone to serve cake out, in my head, through a wall.
The wall cake.
The wall cake.
Wall hand cake.
Okay. Well, maybe it could be like singly wrapped on the wall. I just have this thing about like just cake sitting on a wall. It just seems...
It's not going to sit there long. People are going to eat the cake, Laura.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about setting it up there and leaving it there forever sitting on a wall.
Well, we just go one step further. Why don't
It'll
we
be
just
gone-
serve
it'll be
cake
gone
out in the
as quick
ceremony?
as the shot wall was empty, or whatever wall it was, the little bottles of drinks.
Kelly shot wall.
Kelly shot
yeah.
wall, the little drink walls, they were gone pretty quickly.
They were, because Kelly was telling us, Kelly, she married Darren. Give Darren a shout out there now as well. Kelly's DIY was off the charts. Kelly's still doing wedding DIY, even though Kelly is finished her own wedding. She's still kind of on the wedding thing. She's got an Instagram page and stuff. Let's give her a shout out.
Cool.
But she did this. I think Darren actually made. I hope this is right. I think Darren actually made the shot wall, didn't he? By hand, didn't he?
Don't know.
Somebody made the shot wall.
Right.
Might not have been the groom. We'll give Darren props and say Darren made the shot wall. Could be completely wrong now,
just
right?
take the kudos, Darren.
Could be completely wrong. And I hope his name is Darren.
I don't think it is.
Is it not? Oh no, we'll have to redo the podcast. Just beep out every time I say the name and put
Okay,
in
go on.
your voice saying his name. But it's like when she said I was going to do a shot wall, and like I kind of, the way people are explaining something, you're trying to envision it.
In the same way, you
Yeah.
just couldn't get cake into your head. You were just like,
But listen,
a shot
Benny,
wall.
this shot wall was like bigger than me, as in it was taller than me. It was much wider than me, thank God. It was huge. It was probably like, what was it, 6 foot tall and about
in fact,
6
our
foot wide.
another
It
couple
was
that we have coming up,
Yes.
they're using Kelly shot wall.
Erica and Edward,
Yes.
who were getting married, who were also from Cove, who must know Kelly.
Spoiling their fun of their shot wall.
Maybe we shouldn't tell. No, it's okay. But it's like, but when we got to the drinks reception that day, I was excited to see the shot wall, because the idea was it was all these little tiny little shots on it, and people could help themselves to the shots. It was gone.
Yeah.
Like the wall was still there, but the shots were gone.
Envision
Right.
that wall, except it's cake instead of shots. That's what I'm thinking, Laura. Cake.
But how, you see, but here I can't get by that. But do you just like pick the cake up with your hand, and you just like put it in your mouth with your hand?
You can just lick it if you want. Like, I don't mind how you go about it.
Do you get like
What
a
you do with
plate?
your cake
Do you
is
get
your
a
business,
fork?
Laura.
Do you like, how do you eat the cake?
With the cake, you eat the cake. You just
There's so
in your
many
mouth.
flaws in this.
It's not.
You need
it can
to.
come on little sticks, and you can eat the cake because they're
That's
little.
cake pops,
They're
that's
little
something
brine
different.
squares. Don't mind the cake pops. You've got to get around the frozen chocolate to eat the pop, and
No,
you don't want that.
No, they're not frozen. They're
Whatever
just
you call
cakes
it,
on
the
a
hard
stick.
chocolate.
No, it can be soft.
I'd never had a cake pop. That
This
was
is
soft.
this podcast is turning into the two of us arguing about how
About
cake
cake.
should be served.
But anyway, so Tara's
'Cause
going to
we're
tell us
very
about all sorts of
passionate.
cakes. Cake designs.
Yeah.
Is there a trend that you've seen gone that you thought was good that you think should come back in terms of the designs of the cakes that you've
Well,
seen?
do you know now that you mentioned that, right?
Go on.
So they were doing. I was looking on the old social media there the last day, and they love putting up like what the 2024 trends are going to be, and it's like bows and this and that and all the stuff we kind of all saw coming. And one of the things that was on there was back to the traditional looking wedding cakes, right? And I would have went in my head, no, that won't be the case. I was in like a
It's
look
just like
of
the
your
s-
parents' wedding
The,
cake.
the triangles, the triangle proper cake, and then it's like
Square
the pillars, the four square
Exactly,
pillars,
yeah.
and it's up, up, up,
and
up, up.
it's
very
really tall
kind of
because
regimented.
it's stacked. Yeah, exactly. Or small, but just kind of that more royal icing, I suppose, if that's the right wording for it, kind of like in a square base, or like whatever version you want to do. And I would have went in my head, no, that's definitely not the case now this year. But
Go on.
the lads, Ian made the wedding cake. He's a pastry chef. Their wedding cake, which was like literally the size of me, that was a very traditional wedding cake. It had the pillars between the tiers. So maybe Ian's onto something, because Ian would be making the cakes of the royals and everything. Like he'd be,
That's right,
yeah.
No,
So
no.
he'd be in there with the cake making.
The ex-royals,
Yeah.
the spares.
Careful now.
He hasn't
Careful now.
He's on the spares. He hasn't got to the royal level.
That's 'cause they can't find them
He'd just be
nowadays.
looking
They're
after
missing.
birthday cakes for the spares.
Yeah, they're just in fake photographs, and apparently
Yeah.
they could be live or dead. We're not
Three-handed
sure.
princesses.
300 princesses. But yeah, but their cake was very kind of traditional looking, like you would have seen at Europe. So maybe it is coming back, because for a while it was very much the naked cakes, and then it was with a bit of flowers and bits and pieces, and then it was the extreme sculptured cakes. And you see all these you still see all these things, and then there was colouring brought into cakes, and do you remember there was a whole phase there that it went on for a few years, but the double-sided cakes, where one side was literally like, this is the lady's side of the cake, because she wanted it white and pretty,
Traditional, yeah.
and then the back of it had marble and Superman and all this kind of stuff.
Kind of curtain.
Exactly. But when was the last time you saw one of those?
Haven't seen one in a while.
Exactly.
Do you think it's going to come back? Or do you think it's like just different groups of people getting different types of cakes?
I think it might be different groups of people, but I don't know. I think it saw its day. But I remember from when we were talking to Tara, she had an alternative to this. I won't give it away, but it was a really smart idea. You probably don't remember.
Don't remember.
You
I'm
don't
just
remember.
thinking about the
I thought it was
flavours,
a really
Laura.
good idea. But yeah, but the way, but cakes, you're right though, the different styles come in trends. But apparently, the more classical, traditional, think of your parents' wedding cake, the photos you'd see next to
Okay,
it.
so how many?
Apparently.
We'll call Ian's cake number 1. How many more do you think you're going to see? Do you think you're going to see 2 more, 5 more? This is a bet now.
This is very hard now.
Yeah, well, you're the one saying that.
I can't predict the future. Like I can only tell you what people think is going to be trending. I don't know what the future holds.
Yeah.
I mean, the last wedding we did, there was no cake.
No cake.
So you just don't know, Benny. You just don't know. The wedding before that, they had
The
a huge
possibilities.
cake and a small amount of guests. We probably should have taken some at home and helped them out.
It's true.
Yeah, because there was enough cake for 150 people there now, I'd say, if you were to cut it up. Plus there was cake pops, plus there was muffins. There was loads of kids at the wedding.
Sounds amazing.
It was
I'm just thinking.
it's like following my hands going, what's in your hands, Laura? What's in your
Yeah.
hands? But yeah, it's kind of hard to know what is going to be trending. But if you want some inside knowledge into the background of what goes into actually making cakes, what goes into designing cakes, what goes into setting up cakes, what should be put on a cake floral wise, what shouldn't be put on a cake floral wise, all the bits and pieces that go into it, Tara really had, and her passion for cake.
Genuine passion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
her passion for making cake is almost on the level of your passion for eating cake. I'll say no more, but that's the level of passion that was put into that podcast.
Excellent outro, Laura.
I know, I like it. Thank you. Hats off to Laura.